Thanks for tuning in to our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an e-commerce site for sale in the vaping and electronic cigarettes niche. Created in October and September 2013, this business makes $8,777 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this site is 40776. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, man. You have a pretty interesting business here. Before we dive into the questions, just to do a quick summary for everyone out there listening in on YouTube and on the marketplace listing. The quick summary for this business, it was built in September 2013, as I mentioned, with a monthly revenue of $31,484, expenses sitting at $23,407, with a total net profit of $8,077. And that is over a 3-month average. With the sale of this business will come the social media accounts. The new buyer will also inherit the business Skype account. Seller will introduce the buyers to suppliers. Some of the manufacturing contacts are exclusive and will provide exclusive access and prices on products. The sellers will also provide exclusive access to YouTube influencers in the industry. So with all that being said, this is a pretty healthy business from the looks of it. Can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses? Is this kind of your first time, or have you been in the game for a while?
This is my first enterprise. What happened was the last semester of college, my wife and I started vaping. This was back in, we started vaping in 2009, when there was no products in the market. It was just disposables that wouldn't last long at all. But we were hooked on the technology and serious about quitting smoking. But we were limited with the tech that was available. We were 2-pack a day smokers, both of us. With taxes in where we are, it's very expensive. Maybe, $100 a month. And so we started digging around, looking for a better solution than these disposables that would die every week. What I found was a crude flashlight-looking mod, but it worked. I mean, I even remember the name. It was called the Silver Bullet. It worked I'm telling you, it worked like magic for both of us. We eventually quit smoking entirely. This was years ago. It took me weeks to find that device on the web. I thought I could make it easier to find great working devices and atomizers, and the idea to make a shop started. We took out a little extra on our student loans in the last semester of college, and that's when the business started in 2013. We used it to buy our first inventory. It was really a decision that we made thinking about it. We considered every aspect, and we realized that, we could bring this closer. We didn't have any e-commerce experience or anything, but we learned as we went.
That's great, man. That's a pretty cool story, actually. So you had kind of a personal transformation by the industry itself, and that's kind of how you led you into where you are now. So for someone that is brand new to online businesses and maybe even specifically e-commerce businesses, could you just briefly describe how this business is making money?
Okay, so we have a merchant account. We set up a merchant account as soon as we open the site up. We have customers come in to the store. They go on the site, they see what they like, they check out with it in their cart, and we collect batches daily from the merchant. We ship everything out. We have a quick turnaround time, and we're well known in the industry. So it's just basically once everything was in motion, you can leave it alone. It's a machine that's operating already for a while. So to
be clear, are you doing drop shipping on these products, or are you sourcing?
Nope.
Okay, so you are
everything's
sourcing
in-house.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
We have suppliers we work with directly, and the first inventory we got, we brought it into our apartment and we started shipping right from there, and it worked. It worked very well. We are tasteful in our curation of the products, and people do realize that, and we do have a reputation for having quality gear. And now, since we've established ourselves with the suppliers we're working with, we have a very low return rate because we know the companies we work with are absolutely very quality control driven, and they offer warranties and everything. It's not just, stuff that's going to break right away. Definitely not. It's good stuff. It's quality stuff.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, man. In terms of why you are selling the business, why are you selling? Because you mentioned, it's quality products. You obviously have a fan base. You've been around for a while. You have some clout within the industry. Why not keep it and grow it?
So a few months ago, we were doing some soul searching, my wife and I. We found interest in another completely unrelated industry, which made us truly excited. To be honest, we've been less than excited in the last year or two. And, with the soul searching, we realized why. We love starting from scratch. It's really exhilarating to think we can build something truly valuable from the ground up. And the grind to get to the top, it gives us energy. It gives us something to look forward to, And since our company is already well established, we displace smaller companies easily. We have SEO down well. It's not hard for us to rise to the top of the SERP with this company. We want to try this again with a new company. We want to apply what we learned. I'm excited to apply what I learned here to a new project. And we kind of need to free up capital for that new enterprise as well.
Okay, that answers my next question of what your plan is after the sale. I think you also mentioned you might come to Bali and maybe hang out with me in Southeast Asia.
Definitely. That's one of the first things I want to do. I love beaches. I haven't seen the beach in a while because it's cold out here and our beaches suck. But I'm definitely interested in coming out to Bali.
Yeah, man. Definitely should treat yourself. So when you did first start this business, when you did start it from scratch, what was the trajectory of the business in those first few weeks and months?
Oh, man. So the first month or two was slow. The third month, I think we were seeing like 150 or 200% growth month after month for the next year.
Wow.
Even after that, growth was still above 50 to 60 to 70% through 2014 and through 2015. And then it didn't plateau, but we've reached a point where it's just me and my wife handling all of this. And we've learned that, we can only handle so much in the sense that we still want to bring the best user experience to the customer. And that means we have to artificially stop our growth in order to ensure all our customers are happy. So the growth was tremendous through 2014 and 2015. In 2016 here and 2017, the growth is still there, but it's at a single-digit percentage, only because we just don't have the hours in the day to dedicate to growth anymore.
Right. You only, when you're just starting out, you have 24 hours is all you got, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
There's only so much you can do. Is there anything you learned from this business in particular, like one thing that really stands out that just flat out worked for you really well that you might be applying to your future projects?
You know what it is? It's a lot of business, I believe, is you copy other people that are doing well, and you do it in a little bit of a unique way, and you'll find a lot of success in that. So what we did was we looked around at our competitors at the time in 2013, 2014. We realized sites looked like 1997 GeoCities. I mean, we found that shipping times were ludicrous. We found that return policies were non-existent. We added all of that and into a normal place where people can shop with fast load speed, with good quality, with good selection. And we found that was the key to our growth and our success.
Yeah, definitely, man. Now, on the flip side here, what did you try that didn't work? Is there anything that just kind of failed flat on its face for you guys? Is it something that maybe the buyer, like, hey, look, don't do this?
Well, we've tried Bitcoin, and it seems like that people aren't very interested in using it. People like to use credit cards. I mean, we stopped using Bitcoin because it seemed complicated. We had to set it up such that, batches were coming in, and at the time we were using it was a fluctuating exchange rate, and it was a little more complex than we wanted to. Maybe, the new buyer can certainly adopt Bitcoin if you can find a more streamlined system to work with it, but not a lot of people were interested in it, so we dropped that.
Yeah, I could see that. That kind of makes me think about this show I saw where a guy went around using Bitcoin and he tried to use it all day long, like only Bitcoin. You can only use like the weirdest services because it was so complicated. Yeah. Like his taxi was like a little limo. But, yeah, that's interesting. You tried Bitcoin. I actually haven't heard many people doing that in e-commerce kind of style. So that is interesting. When it comes to your traffic, though, where are you getting your traffic from? Is it mainly SEO? Are you getting social? Are you running paid ads? Or what does that story look like?
So 3 and change years in, according to analytics, a huge percentage, about 73% of traffic comes from Google organic searches for particular keywords. We have some blog posts that help new vapors understand their gear, which in turn helps us establish our authority in the industry. YouTube influencers in our industry have a great relationship with us, big ones, and that is important for new customers. Some of these influencers have over 500,000 subscribers, which amounts to a generous helping of new business. We have a little help from a handful of affiliates, but we've never really focused on affiliate marketing, although it is a great direction for the new buyer to explore. We do have an in-house affiliate system that was built out. Doesn't require any third-party fees like share a sale or anything. Our returning customer loyalty is strong, and much of our profits generate from repeat business, the points and reward system and other measures to drive them back.
That's interesting. That kind of segues into my next question here, where what are your earning types like? Are you like, is it mainly one product that you're sourcing that is earning the lion's share of the profits, or is it kind of spread out evenly over several different products that you're sourcing?
So there's several angles in the industry that have, that are necessary to vape. You need juice, you need batteries, you need the mod itself, which is an electronic device. You need atomizers, you need coils, which are these, could be simple, could be complex. They're not very expensive, but there's a lot of money we've noticed in the last year when we were experimenting in tiny things. If you sell coils, margin on coils is phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, it's, the littlest things. If you put a lot of little things, wouldn't even cost a lot of money to put in the store, but it's surprising how much profit they'll generate. If you have a wide selection of tiny little coils or cotton for wick, grip tips, these little tiny things, but people love the selection and they love the colors. And it's an amazing place to work in because these customers, they're not your typical, these are 21st century customers through and through. You're looking at people who love to post their products on, share it on Facebook. You're looking at people who, if you compare a smoker to a vapor, smokers aren't going to go, hey, look at this new cigarette I brought. Nobody cares.
Post their Marlboros on Instagram.
Exactly. No. They're going to go huddle in the corner and quietly finish their cigarette, go back up to their work site. But here, you have groups, you have enthusiasts, you have people, hobbyists. You have hobbyists spending, thousands and thousands monthly to maintain their collection of, unique and high-end goods. And it's fascinating because I haven't seen this kind of engagement socially in any other industry when compared to vape games. So it's very interesting how you could get people to really share your content and market for you if you have the right tools at your disposal. We've been trying to work on that too.
I think that is one of the cooler things about the niche is that, they are hobbyists and very, very enthusiastic about it. I've had friends in Alaska with like entire suitcase full of different vapes, yes. Mods, just like balls deep into like
everywhere.
Loving this.
Yeah, they're nuts. I mean, there's mods out there that cost $5,000, one of one. And, there's a market in this market, there's a sub-market for everybody. And the high-end community, actually, we've sort of steered towards it. The profits are fantastic in the high-end community. The requirement, it's not a massive amount of work in order to generate the same profit as you would if you were turning over a ton of little mass-produced products. You'd have much more work to do and you'd see the same kind of profit.
Speaking of revenue, how stable are your earnings? Is it pretty consistent month in, month out, or is there any kind of seasonality with this niche that you've noticed? Anything like that?
We're subject to the same kind of cycles as typical business. You see a lot of you generally see, this year's a little different. Generally, you see a lot of movement in holiday season. You see a lot of sales in the holiday season. And you see a little bit of a slowdown during the summertime, when generally businesses don't do as well as they do in the holidays. Having said that, it's pretty steady throughout the year.
You said this year was a little bit different. Was there a reason why? So,
basically, what happened was, we've seen a bit of companies go out of business in the last 5 months. There's a changing dynamic in the industry. The U.S. FDA regulations went into effect on August 8th of last year. There's a shift in consumer purchasing behavior. Aside from banning free product samples and banning giveaways, etc., and adding federal age restrictions for purchasing products, the new regulations really threaten businesses that are incapable of adapting to change. We've seen a bit of companies go out of business in the last 5 months, and we've seen some companies panic prematurely, and others blaming a negligible cost of age verification compliance on their decision to close. The industry as a whole predicts that many more companies will close their doors by the end of 2017. In terms of overall sales, a continued decrease in competition will have a positive increase on sales volume. Despite the regulations, the number of cigarette smokers who are switching to vaping is increasing exponentially now that it's become mainstream versus niche. The regulations did not have a negative impact on consumer demand. Instead, they have increased exposure of vaping beyond the niche and brought it into mainstream. With a decline in competition, there is really a great opportunity to thrive. A buyer who will continue to verify the purchasers via a third-party verification system, which we already have in place. We built it out. Nothing is required there. As long as they don't violate the free distribution of goods to consumers, as well as keep an eye out for just shifting purchasing trends, they will benefit from this regulatory transition. A lot of more people are interested now. You have a great opportunity to meet that new and growing demand. We've built out all the necessary steps in order to ensure regulatory compliance, and nothing is left, save for keeping an eye on market trends as they develop.
Yeah, you're saying basically your company's already pivoted to meet these new regulations, but other companies are failing to do so, and so they've been closing the doors.
Smaller players, it's too much for them to handle, to build out a custom solution for age verification. We've already done this. But for them, it might be too heavy, or, they don't know how to handle it, they get anxiety. We've seen this a few times, but we're already past that. We're where we are, where we need to be, and we're not, we're done. All we're doing is continuing to see a more streamlined demand, and we're servicing more beginners as well. A lot more people are switching now than there were before.
That would be because of the increasing demand, right? I'm assuming.
Correct. Yeah, because of all of the exposure the industry is getting, generally.
So moving a little bit more into the operations of the business here, when you do source your products, where are you sourcing them from? Are they from China? Are they made in America? Like, what's the story there?
We're talking here globally. We have products made in Germany because we have some high-end stuff. We have products made in Switzerland, precision machine stuff with high margins. We have a lot of products are made in China, but, quality control is there. We have some stuff made in America too, and that's, I think, is going to change for the better because of the new presidential situation where made in America is going to have this resurgence again. I think we're going to see some more companies working from America, making stuff in America, and that's great.
Are you shipping the products by boat or by air?
We do all Air Express.
You do Air Express? Okay.
Yeah.
You have your own warehouse now, or?
Yes. I mean, as it stands, we fulfill orders and answer customer emails ourselves. All of this is done from our home.
Okay. Interesting. So you haven't set up a third party to handle the packaging and delivering of the products yet?
We haven't. We've considered this, and we haven't really dug too deep into it. It's probably best to do that when the buyer is, interested and that's what he wants to do. We could set that up because what we need to do is ship everything out in one shot to the fulfiller, and then from there they can handle it and skew it and everything. But as it stands, everything's handled in-house.
Okay. No, your answer might be a little bit related to what you just said, but moving into some of the opportunities here, let's pretend just hypothetically you're going to keep the business and you want to grow it. If you wanted the least risky path to grow that business, what would it be that you'd focus on? So
there's plenty of room for expansion here. If we are limiting ourselves by preventing a lot of overseas business, the new owner can open up the floodgates and let everyone all over the world shop. That wouldn't take much, really wouldn't, and it would be an immediate boom to business. Further expanding the email list, we have 2,000 diehard subscribers. We've cleaned the list, obsessively, and making more blog entries would greatly expand reach. We began a project, but we didn't finish it. It was going to be an epic series on all the manufacturers in the industry. That would be a dominant force in terms of information, and it would definitely help our authority. The project was going to have blog posts explaining each company and what they do uniquely. The new owner can easily finish the posts, which are 60-75% done. That will help boost SERP traffic and increase shares of content. Customers in the niche are, like I said, especially social media centric. And since they love to share their purchases, gear, ask for advice, etc., they wouldn't mind sharing those blog posts either. The blog posts we already have are definitely shared a lot. The vaping consumer is, like I said, a window into the 21st century customer. It's great. You could see them moving around. You could tag them. You see where they're going, what they're doing all over social media. They do research before they buy. They know how to use the internet very well. A campaign to tag a purchase or offering a reward for sharing content on Facebook or Instagram can go a very long way to generate more sales. We really haven't utilized the power of Twitter either. Someone who's social media savvy or is willing to hire a social media content manager will pull in a ton of traffic to increase sales and conversions. There's more stuff. There's a lot more stuff to do. Expanding the e-liquid section could also do great things. We specialized throughout the years in hardware, and we haven't really dug into juice too much. The more I speak to customers, the more I realize that adding juice to our lineup would equate to more sales. You could generate a lot of sales with pre-orders. This is another vast section of the industry. People are willing and ready to give their money way before the product is ready. It seems like a lot of companies do that, but be prepared. See, the thing is that a lot of companies get bad rep when they don't keep their customers on notice what's going on. There's manufacturing delays. It's a little bit of work to, you take somebody's money. You got to make sure you let them know what's going on.
Yeah, honor the transaction, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, so you have to be prepared to let customers know of any missed delivery deadlines. We've done this in the past with great success, but we stopped because we just due to inability to juggle too many things at once. If the new buyer wants to offer pre-orders, they will reap the benefits of our great reputation and good faith that we have in the industry.
So what do you think the biggest risk is for this business that buyers should be aware of? We mentioned regulations. Would you say that's like the biggest risk there, or is there something else?
That was the elephant in the room. But also keep in mind, you're entering a field which traditional pay-per-click advertising won't work. There's, a need to be creative to get your name out there. There's ways to get around the perma-ban on advertising, like posting in Facebook groups, organic social media outreach, mailing list expansion, adding blog entries, etc. But you can't just go into AdWords and pay. You can't go to Facebook and pay and expect that's not going to fly. We chose our, platform based on its blog friendliness, the WordPress. Since customers in this niche love to research and read about products, WP really seemed like a good fit for us. So we've sort of made that central because we feel like the content will be shared, and it did, and it is, better than a big platform like Magento, which focuses on sales generation.
Right, and much more paid traffic friendly, probably.
Yes, exactly. Here you're getting free traffic. Just make the content.
That is interesting. It is an industry where you can't really do paid ads. I actually had a friend, he had a large directory for vapes, like shops or something like that in a certain area, and he had this whole plan to do it on Google AdWords, and nope.
No, that's not going to cut it. But we've learned to make lemonade out of lemons here and it's very possible. We've done it. It's just to continue what we've been doing. It's not anything new. I can definitely show them what kind of blogs we've had, what blogs will move, do a little bit of keyword search and they'll see right away what can be blogged about.
So moving into a little bit more of the regulation side, do you foresee that becoming a bigger issue, or do you feel like it's pretty stable now that it's effective? You don't see it changing much from what it is now?
The FDA is a giant behemoth. They can't make any more moves than they've already made. That's it. Pretty much everything is set in stone. They don't understand the industry well enough yet in order to move forward with anything else. There's really nothing else that's pressing except for, just carding people online. That's the most important thing to our daily business. Other than that, whatever they've set out, that's it. There's not going to add anything else I don't see anything in the near future. And I'm keeping an eye on it. I have friends that are on the legislative side of things. There's nothing else on the horizon.
Awesome. Now, moving a little bit more back into the operations here, what kind of work are you doing to maintain this business? Could you just kind of describe your weekly or maybe monthly tasks that you're spending on the business?
Okay, so we wake up, in the afternoon because China requires a night schedule. We wake up, we get coffee, we go through emails, we answer customer emails ourselves. We fulfill orders. That takes about an hour or two daily, save for weekends. We don't fulfill on the weekends. Sometimes we ship on Saturday, but that's not a requirement. Whenever USPS is open for business, basically, we ship out within a 24-hour shipping window. USPS picks up the packages every morning. The speed helped us really establish ourselves as a powerhouse in the industry. You do need to be on top of new products, and you need to put up the new product pages as soon as you find out from your suppliers. But you don't have to fill out every last detail until you have a ship out. Put a little deposit here and there, before anyone else beats you to it, you put that deposit down, you get the product, you put them up, you take photos. Majority of our suppliers will inform you of the upcoming products ahead of time, giving you a chance to really capitalize on the speed. And that's it. I mean, it's really an hour or two a day. Weekends you can leave alone. And that's all that's left is really generating product pages when the product is about to come out and paying the suppliers.
Now, what skills or requirements would you suggest that a buyer should have before they buy a business like this? Especially if they might not be overly familiar with the niche.
A little bit of coding would be awesome. If they don't know coding, that's fine. I don't per se know coding, but I deal with I have a really good WP specialist which I can, refer. He's in India. He's not very expensive. You need to have a little bit of an understanding of social media. That's pretty basic. Just posting, keeping on top of the groups, staying in the groups, being, as somebody who likes social media, this should come as second nature. Posting on Instagram. We have diehard Instagram followers who love to, share our content. A little bit of, that's it. Really, you don't need serious skills. We use stamps.com to ship out, which is a very generic, very simple program. You just, you use it to buy postage. Anybody can use it. I don't see real skills necessary to maintain this business.
That's always excellent. Moving into some of the wrap-up questions here, would you be willing to sign a non-compete to say, hey, look, I'm not looking to compete with you right after you buy this business from me?
Yeah, I mean, we are moving away from the vape industry in general, so that's fine. We can definitely do that. We have our eyes on a totally different sector of commerce.
And how much support would you be willing to offer a buyer?
I am available for 60 days after the sale. And then if they need me, I am always available. If shit hits the fan, pardon my French, they can always count on me to sort of help them out and guide them through. That's the nature of things. I'm a good guy. I don't want to leave them, out in the cold. And so I'll definitely be there after the 60 days, but obviously not as much.
Right. Yeah, of course. And obviously the best case scenario here is someone comes in and buys your website for full price. It's best for you, best for Empire Flippers. But would you at all be open to something like an earn-out where they say, hey, look, I'll give you 70% up front and then 30% upon completion of this training or something along those lines? Would you be open to it at all?
I'm fairly willing to definitely work on that. There's plenty of negotiable room there. I can do that. We could definitely figure out a situation that would be, beneficial for both of us.
Okay, awesome. Before I ask you my final question here, my hot seat question, if you will, to do a quick summary of the business, a little recap for everyone out there listening in. This business was built in September 2013, has a monthly revenue of $31,484, with expenses sitting at $23,407 for that total net profit of $8,077, and that is over a 3-month average. With the sale, the business includes all the social media accounts, the email list that he suggested as well. The new buyer will also inherit the business Skype account. The seller will introduce the buyers to the suppliers, which some of those manufacturing contacts are exclusive and will provide exclusive access and prices to products. The seller is also going to provide you with his exclusive access to YouTube influencers in the industry. So my final question for you is, what is your best pitch in 30 seconds or less on why someone should purchase this business?
Okay, so you're buying something from someone who's committed to your success. As it stands, you're buying a company worth much more than the asking price. We haven't been out there pounding the street lately, and their sales have declined a little bit as a result. With practically no advertising at all right now, we're still doing great sales. Imagine what could be if you just put some energy into it. If you're social media savvy, you can exponentially increase sales. If we tried selling the company only a year ago, the asking price would be at least, it would be a lot more than what it is now. If you breathe some life into this little old shop, you will watch it pay your bills for the near future.
Excellent. Now, for everyone out there, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel and you want more information about this business, the link will be below this video that would take you to the marketplace listing. Now, if you're on our actual listing and you want more information, you could become a depositor today. All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. So thanks for coming on, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure too. Thank you very much, Greg.